What's up, guys? Justin with the Podcast Dojo. Today on Abandoned Locations, we are going to be talking about Avondale Mall. What drew me to talk about this topic is that it's in Decatur, Georgia. I lived in DeKalb County for about 9 months and I never even knew of this place. My go-to mall while living there was always Northlake Mall. So without further ado, let's talk about Avondale Mall. Avondale Mall, or as it was known originally, Columbia Mall, was the first enclosed mall in Georgia, opening in 1964, with the original anchors being Davison's and Sears. Being that the mall was built in the early days of malls, it was only around 350,000 square feet with one story and 25 tenants. Sears would close its doors in 1984, and Davison's would become Macy's in 1985. That's not the only thing to happen to the mall in 1985. Chuck Norris's movie Invasion America had some scenes filmed at Columbia Mall. Something interesting I do want to add about the mall is the fact that there was a cemetery behind the mall, the Crowley Cemetery. After Invasion America was filmed, Columbia Mall did some renovations, including changing their name to Avondale Mall. The Sears became a Sears surplus store with a food court on the upper level. Remember, the mall was built in the days before food courts. Avondale would also get a McRory store with an outside entrance. Macy's, however, would become more of a clearance store and closing up shop in 1992. The upper level of the Macy's would become a 16-screen theater in 1994. Unfortunately, the mall was beyond doom by this point. Just about all the tenants would be mom and pop stores, which is never a good sign for a mall. The mall would close its doors in December of 2001. So overall, what happened here? Well, there was a lot of problems actually. For one, this mall was never built near an interstate, so it wasn't exactly convenient to get to. The mall didn't really have any exclusive stores. Whatever Avondale had, you could get at any other nicer mall in the Atlanta area. Which brings me to my next point. Atlanta is way too overmalled. To put this into perspective, I lived here in Richmond, Virginia for about 26 years. The Tri-City area had about 9 or 10 indoor and outdoor shopping malls. I've only been to about 4 of them over the period of time I've lived here. In Atlanta, however, I ended up going to like 5 or 6 malls in a 2-month period. Not because I was searching for them, but just because everywhere I went there was a mall. Ironically enough, the mall I said went to a lot was Northlake, and Northlake seemed to siphon off a lot of business from Avondale. Having been to that mall, it was a lot more convenient to get to, and was a much bigger mall and about 4 times the size of Avondale Mall, and opened up only about 7 years after Columbia Mall opened. And then there's Decatur. Now I will say I've never been to Decatur, but I have heard parts of it are bad. But then again, what city and county doesn't have its bad areas? I didn't read anything about any crimes that happened at Avondale, but it doesn't mean that something didn't happen here. It also seems from reading that most of the money in DeKalb County eventually went to the neighboring Gwinnett County. I think for the most part, the mall was built in the experimental days of malls and just couldn't keep up with the times. So what came of it today? Well, the mall was demolished in 2007 with a Walmart Supercenter being built in its place in 2008. What's cool is that you can go to the DeKalb History Center and see newspaper articles talking about the mall. It's no surprise I never heard of this mall until now, because when I moved to DeKalb County, it was 8 years after the mall was closed. So guys, it was kind of a short video today, but it was kind of fun to talk about a mall in a place where I used to live. So curious, did any of you ever go to this mall or did you know about it? Be sure to share your stories below. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you learned something, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.